affect our overall picture. Okay, lower taxes is obviously great. Increased leverage, that's a real estate investor's favorite word. Increased control. I think all of us, if we admit it, we have some control issues. And then lastly, we have lower risk, right? So again, let's dive into this one by one. Lower taxes. So when we're talking about infinite banking, the number one thing to understand is if you use your IBC policy to invest in a deal, you get to take advantage of the full depreciation that's available. Cost segregation, bonus depreciation, whatever you have available, you get to use whatever that is 100%. Okay, there's no, excuses or, like a self-directed IRA, you kind of forego the depreciation. It gets treated same as cash. So all the depreciation is available. You are also, as you're borrowing against your policy, right? And you're borrowing against that, there's a simple interest on those loans. That interest, again, we're going to get into more detail. The interest that you're paying on your policy is an additional tax deduction. If you're using that for your business, if you're using that for real estate, we talked to Tom Wheelwright. I don't know if you guys know him. He's awesome. He has a whole chapter on this. He was talking about it in his book, but he specifically talks about using these policies, taking the loan out, and that interest being an additional tax deduction for your write-offs today. Now, you are also going to be able to use your money and the growth, right? As it's going in and as it's growing, you get to use that completely tax-free through the loan strategy, right? We're going to look at that here shortly. All your money and the growth completely tax-free while you're working, building, and growing. There's no UBIT. There's no tax filing of any kind because remember, it's private. So no filing of any kind. Now, when we get to this point in our life, David and I don't really like the word retirement because that's kind of weird. I don't know if we'll ever retire, but all of us are doing one thing, which is we are building up as many cash flow assets as we can. We want our money to work harder for us than we do for it. And these policies are no different. This becomes one more cash flow arrow in our quiver so that when we get to a point where we just want to sit back and collect a check and just sit in that distribution phase, these policies will spit out a guaranteed tax-free income to you for the rest of your life. You call us and say, hey, David and Erica, I don't want to put money in. I want to take money out. And it will spit out a guaranteed tax-free pension to you for the rest of your life, along with all the other assets that you've built up. Now, once we've taken depreciation up front, we wrote off all these deductions up front, we got to use our money tax-free, no UBIT, and we used a tax-free income. After all of that, when we graduate from this world and we move on, everything we leave behind is completely tax-free to the next generation. No inheritance, no estate tax, no wills, no probate, no nothing. This is the most efficient way to transfer wealth from one generation to the next. So much so they wrote a book about it. So if you want to write this down and we can put it in the chat, it's called What Would the Rockefellers Do?